Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, did you know Parkinson's is the fastest growing neurological disease on the planet? We'll be talking to the executive director of the Dallas Area Parkinson Society. That's next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, when we think about Parkinson's, we think about celebrities like Muhammad Ali or Michael J. Fox because they became so publicly linked to it. I did not realize it's the fastest growing neurological disease on the planet. That's why I invited my next guest into the studio, Leisha Phipps. She is the executive director of the Dallas Area Parkinson Society. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
Well, I'm honored to have you. Well, this is something we really need to address because I think most people would be surprised to know that it's growing so quickly.
Correct.
Why do we think that is?
You know, I think there are several different factors. For one, the majority of people who are diagnosed with Parkinson's disease are actually men over the age of 60. So that is not to say that women are not diagnosed, but we know that the baby boomer generation is a growing population as that number continues to rise. So I think that's one of the big factors. There's certainly a lot of advances as well in terms of just diagnosis, but just the population itself lends itself to that increase.
And you were telling me before the show that younger people are getting it more often than ever before. Do we have any reason to know why that would be?
Well, that's a great question, and I think that's one of those that there's lots of guesses when it comes to why younger folks are getting diagnosed a little bit more often. We certainly know that there are some environmental factors that come into play. So there's a lot of research being done on that in terms of exposure to whether that's toxins. Certainly we know that that can play into that role when it comes to people who might be diagnosed with Parkinson's. Of course, our veterans who have been exposed to Agent Orange, we certainly know that that is a strong correlation with the diagnosis of Parkinson's disease as well.
Wow. And you've been touched with it in your own family. Can you share?
Yes. So my dad was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease almost 19 years ago. We were actually surprised because my grandfather had been diagnosed with ALS. So we naively assumed that, oh, well, at least it's not ALS, and quickly learned that that Parkinson's disease is a really serious neurological disorder. There is no cure, but we are certainly learning, though, that people can live very well and manage their lives even with the disease.
We're going to pull up the newsletter page off your website, and as we scroll down it, you guys are incredibly active here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Tell us about the people you serve and how you go about doing that.
Sure. So it is our mission to make sure we are providing free and comprehensive services to people in Dallas, Denton, and Collin County. So we have 9 locations throughout these counties, and we primarily provide folks with exercise classes with certified instructors who have additional training when it comes to Parkinson's disease. We have lots of support groups, many support groups for people who are care partners of someone with Parkinson's, and of course we provide a lot of virtual groups as well, because we know that sometimes the disease can inhibit people from attending an in-person group. So those are becoming more popular as well. And then, of course, we provide lots of lunch and learns or educational programs so that people can actually learn more about the types of therapies that are available, but also bringing people together so that there's a community, which we find to be very important when you're dealing with a disease like this.
Sure. We've got some video from our library, and I want you to talk about what we know about the brain, because it's the final frontier of medicine, but we're learning a lot more about about what causes the brain to work or not work. What have we learned about Parkinson's in the last couple decades?
Well, so we're learning. It's still a slow process, and so there's lots of research that is happening. So we know that with people with Parkinson's, dopamine is really the primary product that they do not have enough of, and so carbidopa-levodopa is typically the primary treatment that is used to treat most people with Parkinson's disease. So there's also deep brain stimulation, otherwise known as DBS. That is also another form of treatment that some people are eligible to go through as well. So there are lots of different types of treatments, but again, the primary source of therapy for folks is carbidopa-levodopa. However, most neurologists will tell you that the research shows that exercise is the one guaranteed form of treatment that can help slow the progression of the disease.
And there is no cure, so right now we're trying to slow it down. Is that what we're trying to do?
That's right. So exercise, information, cognitive exercises, of course, community, support groups, and diet, those are all really important factors to make sure that you're living well with the disease.
And you mentioned that you do a lot of education. I was blown away by your events page. Let's go ahead and pull that up. Because it seems like every week you're out there training and bringing in these leading experts, and April is a big month for you.
It is. April is Parkinson's Awareness Month. That is actually a global initiative. So across the globe, people honor and recognize the month of April so that we can help people raise awareness of the disease, how it impacts people, not just people with the disease, but also families and care partners specifically. So we do have several events coming up in April. Our first event is a walk. It will be our first Dallas annual Walk for Parkinson's Disease. And that will be with our partners at Edgemere Senior Living on Saturday, April 12th. It is a free event, and you can sign up for that on our website at www.daps.org.
That's awesome. And I know you're a nonprofit, so you do need sponsors and people to come alongside you. How do people get involved?
Absolutely. You can always contact us on our website, or you can email us at DAPS, DAPS, at daps.org. And of course, our phone number is 972-620-7600. And we're also very active on all of our socials. So for folks who prefer to contact us that way, you can find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram.
Leisha, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I praise you and thank you for sharing your journey.
Thank you very, very much.
Absolutely.
Very great.
We're going to end with the website, which is DAPS, DAPS.org. The great Leisha Phipps. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Jeff. It was an honor.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.